All right, and welcome to Fast Break Breakfast NBA podcast. My name is Keith, here once again with my buddies Chuck and John.
Hey now.
Aloha, boys.
Both of you guys are dressed very regularly.
Super cash.
So I
cash.
tell my boss when I'm coming to do this
Yeah.
that I'm going to the gym for physical therapy.
Man, you got a cool boss.
He's into active stuff. This is what I am convincing him. I'm saving my own life.
Well, you are kind of dressed for that.
Yeah.
So the ruse
Oh yeah.
is successful. John is wearing a hoodie of his former favorite team, the Memphis
Former
Grizzlies.
favorite team. I've missed their last two games.
You
They had a pretty
missed
fun.
anything.
They won. They won one of them.
You've not watched
They
them.
beat up the
I watched
Trailblazers.
Always beat
Sorry,
Blazers.
Always
Always beating Blazers.
I'm really hung up on this. We have no Patreon supporters from Memphis.
It's kind of weird.
We have a couple Grizzlies fans, but they're not in Memphis.
We have one
Right.
from Jackson. Does that count?
We have Brandon is
count.
from, I think, Houston.
Houston. He lives in Houston.
But we have lots of Trailblazers.
I don't know where
my God.
Brandon's from.
He might be a bot.
Anyway, lots
he
of
just
Blazers
writes too
fans.
many good
Yeah,
puns.
pun bot.
He just writes too many good puns.
But I almost felt bad for our Blazers fans who make up a significant portion of our Patreon.
Most of it.
Supportage.
Your average Blazer fan is a much more enjoyable person than your average Grizzly fan, I would say.
I always thought it had something to do with like technology there.
Grizzlies
Like, they were
fans
just
are-
like higher.
man,
you know,
Grizzlies. This isn't going to help
You're
at all,
saying
Keith.
Memphis lacks the internet?
I'm saying-
Keith, this isn't going to help, but
I'm-
I'll say it. Grizzlies fans are dumb.
right. Or like a Grizzlies fan still uses CDs.
I'm very basic bitch Grizzlies
Right.
fan. Like, I actually wanted to talk to you guys about how you consume NBA nowadays because I
Right.
feel like I'm so cavemanish.
You probably are, Cave. What are you,
I would
let's
love
do-
to go into how we all consume
let's
it.
do something. Let's do something to start us off with. I'll hijack the show momentarily. Let's do our basic our square meals of the day. Keith, what are your three main sources of NBA content? Your three square meals.
I mainly just watch the games and then use Twitter. That's literally it now.
So you don't have. So I used to always.
I don't even watch any highlight shows. I listen to a lot of
Wow.
I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Okay, that's
Right.
Okay,
that's what
so
I wanted to-
podcasts and Twitter are definitely ahead of
So podcast, Twitter,
reading.
games. Those are like your three square meals,
I mean,
You watch basketball games.
I watch the basketball. Honestly,
and mostly League Pass, I would assume.
yeah. So I watch the basketball, and then I go down weird rabbit holes sometimes, coming up with tweets.
right.
That's like my research.
Right.
And I guess fantasy basketball is probably a portion of that as well.
Okay, okay,
What I'm saying is I don't read articles, John.
okay.
Right.
I knew you didn't read,
And I don't
anything
watch
at all.
highlight shows. I don't
Okay.
watch Inside the NBA. I don't watch the starters. I don't watch
So I
the
used to
jump.
I used to always watch Inside the NBA,
Yeah.
and I this is my first year I haven't watched a single episode of the starters.
Right.
Inside the NBA, I would still watch, but my Thursdays and Friday nights are no longer free.
Yeah.
So it's been a weird year for me where I kind of feel like I'm drifting more to the Keith side where I actually watch a lot of replays. I watch the replays the next day.
See,
quite
that's
a bit.
that's the thing I miss. So that's what I used to do pre-babies was watch.
Yeah.
I would rewatch NBA like all morning.
Yes.
Just, like
And
all
morning
morning.
NBA is really not, especially like because you can put like also my setup has changed how I watch the NBA now. Instead of watching on my TV as much, I no longer have the League Pass package in my house
Right.
on cable because it's so horrible. I
really
have
bad.
it just Chuck and I just have like I guess I'll call it the internet package.
Yeah, the web NBA TV.
where I can
package.
throw 4 games on at once,
Right.
Ozymandias style, and
Yeah.
I do that a lot. Chuck, what are your sources? And I keep Twitter open.
Because Chuck, you go to Reddit.
If I'm
You're
watching-
the
Right.
only one of us who actually goes to Reddit.
Yeah,
ever.
Reddit's my
And
my
YouTube.
Reddit's my aggregator for news. It tells me what people are talking about, and that's good. I'm a Reddit streamer, so I stream most of my
okay.
games through Reddit. I watch 2 games a week, probably, and then or 2 nights a week, probably 2 games in 2 nights, and then highlights.
I hate you.
Highlights and I'll read an article here and there.
I don't really read articles anymore. I don't even know when Zach Lowe's articles come out anymore.
I'm like really focusing on reading more.
What are you going to read?
Well, I was given
The Ringer is dead.
I was given a 3-month trial subscription to Kelly Dwyer's Behind the Box Score.
K-Don.
Yes,
Right.
so K-Don hoops, if you will.
But-
so I've been reading that because that comes in my email. I try to read. I'm paying for a Cleaning the Glass subscription.
What about The Athletic?
I try to read. I'm not an Athletic subscriber.
So honestly,
There's
and
too many
this
subscriptions.
sounds like a plug, but I get most of my information from the chats in our Slack chat.
Oh, yes.
There you
I think
go.
the
We
Slack
are-
chat has changed my life as an NBA.
It's made me a much better fan. It's given me insight to people that I know
made me
and
a
trust.
monster.
And the guys there are so smart and could easily host their own thing if they wanted to do it because they all have great personalities and know
but
basketball.
don't you dare, listeners.
Don't you ever dare.
Slack.
I will not subscribe
And
to your
sh- and
I think
shout
Slack
out
has
to-
hurt Twitter the most for me. Like I've
Right.
unfollowed a lot of stuff on Twitter,
Right.
Because my Twitter was pretty. And Twitter's such a weird cacophonous, like many voices saying the same thing
Yeah.
that it gets really frustrating as a basketball fan. Whereas, like the Slack, really, I feel like, especially because you get the different regional fan bases, you get kind of different takes that people will say things on Slack that they won't say in a tweet.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah, right.
But getting back to the
That's
later
also
point,
a selling point for anyone who wants to join our
That's
Slack.
right.
Slack is basically
I was gonna
just
let it be
Twitter
smooth.
with nothing but cool people.
Yeah.
Like if you had no idiots there, that's what our Slack is.
I feel like Blazers fans
On
are kind of
Patreon.
in the intelligentsia, the Twitter, the Reddit. Grizzlies fans are like watching the Grizzlies and then using smoke signals to communicate with each other.
Right. There's a lot of letters and Pony Express rides.
Yeah.
So going back to those Grizzlies fans, if we had a single Patreon supporter who lived in Memphis, I could get him into all these season ticket holder things that I can never attend.
That's right.
There's like a free fun fest on Saturday where you can do go-karts and things. I can't
You went
go.
to that once.
I did. It was really
You
fun.
sent pictures of it.
Oh man, I got pictures with Bano. I got
Man,
pictures
those were the days.
with Calathis, with Koopas, with Zebo. I was wearing a Zebo shirt. He said, "Cool."
Your brother was there. What was his name? Aminadati.
Oh yeah. Haddad was Haddadi still on the team? I can't even remember.
Yeah.
But no, I just feel bad because I'm definitely downgrading to the nosebleeds with
Right.
I assume I still get some access, but like I feel like I could get people. I can give
But
you.
I think as they get
there's like a
worse-
special down basement level club you can get into. I can
Right.
see my sticker
Oh.
access to that.
Remember when we did that?
That was
when we went
fun.
to that basement bar at
Nope.
at FedEx Forum before
yeah.
seeing Porzingis. You don't
There's
remember?
a bar involved.
Yeah, that's true. In
I
Memphis.
scoped it out.
And Hoot was there.
Oh.
There's no way we
Rest
remembered
in power.
most of that night. The legend.
Man, I have a weird Hoot story that's current events.
Okay.
Hoot was a legend and came with us. He passed away recently, but he came with us to Memphis on all the trips, and he is an absolute legend.
So I put together a wrestling tournament.
Yeah.
And I had to get a bunch of pro wrestlers for it. And there was a wrestler named Jungle Boy that I really liked, who I contacted. And most of the wrestlers would say no because it was like a charity thing, couldn't pay very much. And Jungle Boy had the most endearing excuse because, first of all, I thought it was a lie at first. He said he wanted to do the tournament, but he could not do it because it was his dad's birthday. And I thought that was a hilarious excuse. His dad was Luke Perry.
Really?
Yeah, my buddy who was with me, he's like, you know who his dad is? It's Dylan from 90210.
No way.
And
Luke Perry has kids our age.
Luke Perry has a kid who's like a 25-year-old professional wrestler.
That's amazing.
also rest in power.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
passed
pour a
away
little liquor out.
5 days ago.
We're just all about diff.
Who else
Yeah.
died? We can keep making it sad.
Weird Burr's blind spot. Never seen any 90210
Oh, me neither.
in my life.
No, neither have I.
Good. Okay,
I didn't
maybe
even.
not a blind
I didn't even
spot.
see the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie.
Oh, that was
That he-
classic.
wasn't he in that with Christian?
Oh, yeah,
Slater?
I
he
think
killed
he
it.
was in it. That movie rules.
That movie rules.
Rugger Hauer, Paul Rubens.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Those are the villains,
So
bruh.
I've not seen it. Did you guys? I guess moving on to breakfast.
Should we?
Did we have breakfast?
good. Yeah.
I did.
I had a burrito from Tower Deli. It had potatoes,
My
bacon,
guy.
cheese. I'm kind of lethargic because I ate it like 2 hours ago.
Oh, also, I didn't describe
It was at
Chuck's,
noon.
your wardrobe. You're wearing almost a nondescript gray hoodie with your U.S. Air Force veteran hat.
Right.
So you just look like a normal guy.
I'm just very not in
You
costume
look like a 9 to
today.
5er or what's the word? What's the nice
I
way
look
to
like
say
a guy
Looks
that
like a-
no, I look like someone who does maintenance on the golf course.
You look stoned.
Because
super
because sometimes you dress more flamboyantly and you have your tattoos showing,
Right.
And with the hat covers the starkness of your bald head and your big beard and your terrifying white supremacy visage.
The look, I look real racist. You can't do anything about it except.
And I'm wearing
be nice to
the
people.
broken down middle school teacher.
The less said, the
Button up.
better.
You look like the guy that comes in to do inventory at a shoe store.
Full Flanders.
like
You
a
have
ladies'
gone
shoe store.
Full
You have
gone
Flanders.
full Flanders.
Yeah.
Matthew Broderick in election. Yes. That's the sadness. My breakfast was Kroger sushi.
Once again, that is always a roll of the dice.
Again, roll. Well played.
Yeah, California roll of the dice.
Yeah. Spicy tuna roll the dice.
Damn it.
John, what'd you have?
I had what was called, it can't really be a granola bar because it's an Atkins granola bar.
Ugh.
So what is the granola even made from?
I thought you were on keto. What is this?
I forgot
Exactly.
Atkins.
I think keto's just Atkins
I thought
rebranded.
Atkins disappeared.
Yeah, and
It
then
did after like the dude named Atkins died from his own diet.
Yeah, like
but then
heart
people
failure.
stopped doing
So they- yeah.
vaccinations,
But
and
it
then
said-
Atkins came back.
But it says Atkins on the bar. So.
Yeah. Well, Atkins is a type of diet, and they're all the same at this point. They're all doing one or two things, either giving you less calories or they're cutting out carbs. Those are the only two ways to lose weight.
Mine is like the Dune diet, like where fear is
Exercise
the
in
mind killer,
moderation, Chuck.
the mind torturer.
No,
I'm just starving my brain.
Yeah, you just need to. Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're rewiring your brain to not be a fat person because that's really what you have to do. You can't just be like, I'm going to diet and exercise. No, you have to change all of your habits and change your brain's function.
But this bar is pretty good.
Pretty
That is
good?
you are. This
Candy
is
bar.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
This is not my friend.
Oh yeah.
I'm very sad at you.
I got a lot of these
Your
bars.
taste buds have been rewired.
Bars are real expensive
Yeah,
too.
you've been. Yeah, I know. That's the other thing too. You can find similar stuff at Kroger for dollars
Well,
less.
that's what I get. I go
you
to
get the
Kroger,
cheap
but it's
stuff,
still
yeah.
expensive.
Oh, the name brand Atkins bars. Forget
Yeah, that's it.
It's
That's what I'm
like
getting.
but they have the Kroger knockoff.
Oh, what?
Get that. Come on, man.
God.
So those were our breakfasts. After our breakfast, we moved to our breakfast in bed. Apologies. This is our chance to make right what we might have gotten wrong on any previous episode. It is frequently the first time we talk about basketball. Does anyone have anything they need to apologize for?
Well, as soon as I besmirched Steve Cliffy's Orlando Magicians, they went out and beat the Warriors. So I guess I'm left with no choice.
You did. That was
Yeah.
that was the day of John
But
special.
to begrudgingly admit defeat, and as penance, I will point out that in this calendar year, the Magic are the third best defensive team in the NBA. So
They're actually
I'm
incredible.
sorry.
Yeah.
They also are unfortunately on the outside looking in currently,
Right.
as Chuck's Miami Heat have made up some ground. My apology. I declared this man. Actually, I got two apologies. One, an update on the squirrel battle. There was a tragedy.
Oh,
Killed the wrong squirrel?
One of the children.
No,
Okay,
uh,
that's the first thing
I've caught-
That's tragedy.
I caught one. I transplanted him across town. I caught another one who was not the legendary squirrel. I'm like, you also are not the legendary squirrel. Let him out across town. I caught a bird. Let him out, no problem.
Right.
He took off. Then caught what I'm pretty sure was the legendary squirrel. I was pretty excited. Like, I couldn't definitely say this is the guy, but the other two definitely didn't look like him. This one could have
Does
been
he have
him.
any like distinguishing marks or
Yeah,
tattoos?
he's got like a
Scar
a
over his
snake
eye?
Plissken
Yeah.
scar. Yeah, no. So this one I caught in the evening, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna got to repopulate that guy in the morning. He didn't make it through the night,
You killed it.
so he died in the cage.
Of what?
Cold?
He bashed his own
Fear?
brains in?
I don't know. Like, I was really sad in the morning. Like, I was trying to be humane. This guy, maybe his heart stopped out of terror, and I get really sad thinking about it. like I don't.
It just knew it got. Well, it wasn't going to go out. He was going to let you punk him. He was going to die in jail. He was like, I'm not going to live like a captured man.
Yeah.
So he just gave up. His heart just released.
So I think maybe the saga's
Maybe he
over. But I felt
recently had
there was a
penis enlargement
tragedy.
surgery.
I feel I don't know what happened to him. I don't even know what John's reference is.
Well, first of all, you could have told us if you killed him because it's legal. So you are being honest.
No.
and
It's
that's-
legally, I'm allowed to starve him in a cage.
Right.
I'm not allowed to
Kill
take him
anything
somewhere
on
else.
your own property, as far as I'm concerned.
But I feel bad about that. My other apology, non-animal rights abuse apology, is I declared this man's career dead. I'd called for the last evacuation from Brandon Knight Island. But Brandon Knight,
Well,
who he play for, Chuck?
he was with.
This is tricky because
This is
it
very
actually blew my brain. I didn't even notice that he ended up somewhere new.
Is he on the Rockets?
No, he's playing right now. He was on the Rockets.
Right.
They got rid of him. They dumped him.
I know.
So he's on the
Cavs, right?
yeah, he's on the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavaliers, who are a very respectable.
That's the closest I've sniffed to a Game of Scones victory in 2 months.
The Cavs, who are a respectable 4-4 post All-Star break.
Damn right.
Brandon
no one
Knight
wants to play
on
basketball
the
anymore.
Cavs is shooting 40% from 3. So
Yeah.
he's back kind of doing some stuff. He's only, averaging 6 points per game. He's not shooting real well, doing anything else. But he's back actually playing. He's not shooting 4% from the field like he was. He's hitting 40% of his 3. So if you want to, if you stayed in your home, ignoring the evacuation order on Brandon Knight Island, more power to you. I'm glad you exercised your liberty, and maybe you were right. Brandon Knight, you still NBA player, despite all my doubts.
We did mention Looter in the riot last week, so that could be the case there.
Could be a little
Cleveland for him. My apology this week when I I have a long-standing hatred for Harrison Barnes. This has been documented. I do not appreciate his game, as it always interferes with other people's better games. Like, he used to ruin Steph Curry, he ruined Luka, but just would ruin beautiful passes and played like crap, really. But now he's in Sacramento, and he's found his lane. He's really not doing too much that he's not really capable of doing. He's got that happy medium now, where he can be a role player and he doesn't have to try to put.
I've got that disease
25 a game.
where I've had the guy in fantasy and he's totally serviceable. So I'm just like, Harrison Barnes is fine.
Well,
I
he's
do
always
feel like
he's always kind of a goofball.
I
And
don't know if it's his fault.
Dorky.
I don't know if it's his fault, but I feel like every time I'm watching the end of that Sacramento Kings game and they lose to a good team by 2 points, he's always holding the ball on the last. It's like the hot potato hand grenade game. He's always stuck holding the grenade.
There's not a guy there's 2 guys in the league where when you see a disastrous end of game play that it is inexplicably them involved. Harry Barnes and Marcus Smart. They're always doing something goofy with it, and it's and you're especially in Marcus Smart's case, it's man, that's a really capable player.
Yeah,
But and they're always somehow involved. Sometimes on the defensive side, and sometimes it's a good thing that they got their hands on the ball or whatever. But it's just okay, the hustle is there, but maybe not the wherewithal.
I feel like there's been at least 2 or 3 where he's already had the last shot for the Kings.
Right.
And I don't feel like it was him doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing. On Wednesday
Coach
night.
was that was meant for Harry Giles.
Yeah, well, on Wednesday night against the Celtics, it's the inbounds pass, the play broke down, and then Harry Barnes was the only guy who broke free, had to shoot a desperation shot, but it was yet again, they lost, and he was stuck kind of holding the bag.
He had two bad situations, I think, when he was in Golden State and Dallas. He was he thought he was a superstar coming out of college. Steph turned out to be a much better player. Clay turned out to be a much better player.
And he had those crazy 40-point games here and there.
And he can still go off. I never thought he was an incapable player. I just never thought he was a superstar, and now he has his lane. He's 6'8" and can play defense when he wants to, and can do a little, and hits 40% of his shots.
He is a guy you would
3.
love to pay $11 million per year to come off your bench.
Right. But you don't want to build anything around him. But now
he'd be the second best Grizzly.
Yeah, no,
he would be. I would love him on Miami. I think he would be a great fit in Miami.
I think he would.
But why are we talking about Harrison Barnes?
You did this.
Sorry. You did it. You're apologizing. We can apologize
Sorry, Harry.
for that next week. All right, so those were our breakfast in bed apologies. Before we get to our steak and eggs best thing, we have a few listener submitted questions. The croissant? Questionnaire.
Any questions?
Yes. Are you going to finish that croissant?
Knock yourself out.
That croissant. Finish that croissant.
Counterproduct asks, What makes running a successful NBA franchise different to running a normal successful business? What is it that makes the Robert Sarvers and James Dolans of the world be so successful as business people, but so obviously bad as owners of NBA franchises? Should I start with the nepotism, racism, or classism?
Right. Well, Dolan's a bad example, right?
He's just a kid, someone's kid.
Yeah, he's a kid, right? He's a.
So's Bob Sarver.
Right.
They're both someone's kids.
So this isn't, when it comes to
Banking and
to
savings
basketball,
and loans, impresarios.
yeah, I don't think that the owners are really the bosses, like at all.
They try to be. I think
They hold themselves in this air, but and they're respected as owners. But I don't think anyone looks at James Dolan and is like, he really knows how to get us back to the playoffs. He's like, no, that's our owner. The other people below him know how to do jobs, hopefully, and they can get us where we need to go.
These are big toys for big boys.
Yeah, James Dolan just bought a group of really cool dudes to hang out with. That's what the Knicks are. They're a group of friends that he's paid whatever $5 billion for.
Let's stay away from the owners buying dudes.
Yes, I love the Lord and all of his beautiful black people.
Yeah,
Yes, there you go, there you
I'm just
go.
glad he said dudes, and not any other.
Yeah.
My opinion. It's incredibly hard. The reason why some guys who have incredible business success don't have the same success running an NBA team is it's incredibly hard to win the life lottery twice.
Right.
Like, oh, you're an incredibly successful businessman? You had a lot of luck, brother.
Right.
You had an unbelievable amount of fortuitous things happen for you to become a titan of your industry. Like, even the guys who are, you could argue, are like a self-made, like a Mark Cuban who invented an internet thing and sold it to Yahoo and made $1 billion. Like, cool. Like, a lot of stuff worked out for you, for your smarts, your ability, and what you were working on to whatever. Lightning in a bottle, you caught it, you sold it, you made $1 billion. Then to also say, all right, I got lucky with this. Now I'm going to run an NBA team.
This is also pretty contextual because I'm pretty sure those guys are making capital B billions off of this.
Oh yeah.
Right. They're still making a lot of money.
They're making,
But why
half of the
doesn't
labor
it
share.
translate to winning on the court like in the Robert Sarvers, James Dolan?
Well, I think it's
because-
just a matter of values because Robert Sarver's, I think, pretty happy with how things are going. I think he's happy with his losing team. I think Dolan just wants to play with JD in the money shots.
Yep.
And then go to
Play
his games
guitar
and make
on
sure Charles Oakley isn't
Nick.
staring him down from across court.
James Dolan plays guitar
And then you
on
have your guys
Knicks planes after they lose.
You have guys like Cuban who are like desperate for victories and want to be part of the show and want to be visible. You know?
I mean, I think the good ownership. You look to people who have had success, and then they understand that one of the big success in, I guess, corporations or anything is enabling the correct and talented people. So being able to identify others who aren't you, understanding I will not be the best at this.
right now the real failures to me it's like Jeannie Buss
Oh,
because
completely.
they're like they want to win. Like James, I don't even know if James Dolan gives a damn, or I'm
Yeah.
certain Robert Sarver doesn't.
Right.
Well, I feel like Robert Sarver started saying some stuff like, I've made some mistakes and maybe I need to do something. And he seems willing. I've seen videos of fans heckling him, being like, sell the team. And he's like...
That's just white guy syndrome. Just
would
like
you bu- that is
apologize
true.
though. Just apologize, apologize.
No, Jeannie Buss is the worst.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
They're the Lakers.
But I think outside of, and I'll use Brooklyn as an example. Prokhorov came in and thought he could change the paradigm and trade for players and basically lose all the value that he had in draft picks, and it put him in a hole. Then he implemented a good system. He put people there that made good decisions, and now they've got themselves back out of that rut. You can run an NBA franchise perfectly well and really only win 40 games a year.
I think Prokhorov realized that he's like, I have silver mines that can make me way more money
Right.
if I,
well, as soon as he imparted,
cuts on different corners.
If I put the-
that's not as easy to do with the Brooklyn Nets. So
Right.
I'm gonna go focus on my silver
as
mines.
soon as he imparted all his wisdom through his dribbling drills, it was fine.
Yeah.
Feeling Minnesota asks, who displayed more competitive spirit? Wizards Michael Jordan or Lakers LeBron James?
It's hard to say. Do you guys have what are your memories of watching Wizard Jordan? Because I feel like I saw him 3 times.
I watched
That was
him.
how basketball was then.
Yeah,
Right.
back
So
in the day.
I don't know. Like,
If you
what
said anything different, you either lived in the surrounding DC area or you're lying.
Right.
was he? Was I think a more interesting angle to twist Feeling Minnesota's question. For me, a more interesting angle is who do we think was more like harmful to his squad? Like was Wizards MJ? I mean, we know what he did.
Wizards MJ made the playoffs.
Well, yeah, but in a weaker conference, in a really horrible portion of the NBA's history as far as talent wise. He did ruin a Kwame Brown and others. So but I don't know. Was Michael Jordan damaging to that Wizards team? I don't know. Because again, I feel a lack of information.
Jordan on the Wizards was like a demigod who came back from, like, we said goodbye. He had 6 championships, and then he comes back, and he still had the respect and adoration of all sports writers.
Kind of like the Superman in the DC Universe movies.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So they kill him.
He's
and
a demigod who came back.
Deadbeat dad.
Right. So when he was, when he came back, he got all the adulation that a superstar should get. I think even one point people were, thought he would be an MVP in Washington.
Right.
He was an all-star, and
he stole Jerry Stackhouse All-Star.
Yeah.
But I think now LeBron has more in the tank left than
do we? But so the
MJ
flip side.
had
Do
when he
we
went
think?
Vince.
Do we think LeBron is being harmful to this Lakers team? Because that's the way the story has flipped.
I think
on record.
to answer
Yes.
Keith's question, Jordan was more harmful. But I think to answer Feeling Minnesota's question,
Yeah,
Jordan showed more competitive spirit.
sure.
LeBron is taking himself out of games that are, you could make the case, not out of reach of winning.
Jordan very much never could be okay with losing, and it seems that LeBron learned somewhere to be okay with losing. That's kind of what's going on now.
So I have never liked the best player.
Mhm.
And the closest I've come to enjoying one is LeBron, and it's because of his affability, which is probably somehow related to his not relentless killer instinct,
Right.
scary
He's not a
machine
psychopath like Jordan.
alien quality. So
That's a really interesting statement.
Young Hueva asks, what is Javon Carter's ceiling as an NBA player? Keith, this is onanism. Only you can answer this. Let's hear it.
Nick Calathis.
Steak Tips Burgundy asks, my kid has been watching Disney princess movies lately. What were your favorite Disney movies growing up?
I mean, I had
Air Bud, I don't know.
4 sisters.
Are we going cartoon? Or are we going the entire
Yeah.
Disney movie?
So
The
yeah,
Parent Trap.
Like the parent? No, honestly, I loved the Parent Trap. Crazy for the Haley Mills Parent Trap.
my favorite Disney film is Pixar count.
Sure.
Yeah, Toy Story.
How old were you in Toy
I
Story?
was 14 when it came out.
That works.
It was perfect.
Okay.
It was just old enough for me to appreciate it, and it was silly. And I think I got a over the pants hand job, in 8th grade watching Toy Story.
So that's your childhood
Took a turn.
good memory.
Yeah,
of-
every time I hear Tim Allen talk now, I get an erection.
Is it like,
Yeah, exactly.
When I was a young kid, I think my favorite was I liked the Robin Hood one,
Oh yeah,
and I liked the Fox and the Hound. Something about the
Fox and the Hound is not Disney, I don't believe.
It is.
Mary
Is that not a
Poppins.
Bluth? Which ones are Bluth?
Bloom?
All
That's-
dogs go to heaven.
Yeah.
Okay.
American Tail, I think it was a Bluth.
Somewhere out.
Is this back-to-back episodes with
Yeah.
somewhere
No,
else?
we're going to
Yeah.
mention 5 Goes West next
That's right.
episode.
That's amazing.
John, you hate cartoon movies and also hate anything that other people consider to be universally beloved.
Sounds about
So
right.
what's your take on Disney cartoons?
I mean, are we going to go back to the...
you watch anything.
Fantasia,
Are we going to go back to the princess bit?
Steamboat Willie.
Oh, well, so Chuck was asking.
Yeah, I was like,
He's like, well, what if we did, because last week we did NBA players as Spice Girls.
uh-huh.
What if we did NBA players as Disney princesses?
Yeah.
So the first princess, so Sleeping Beauty, that's OG
Yeah,
princess.
OG.
So that's probably Michael Jordan, like the GOAT
Right.
princess.
Okay.
New school princess. I feel like Beauty and the Beast is when they brought it back.
So, all right, so, you
So
got
maybe
Belle.
that's LeBron. Is that
No, I think Belle is like bookish.
That's Steph Curry.
No, intelligent. I think it's Kyrie Irving trying to, because Belle. Listen, Belle had a pretty sweet setup. Gaston, the most popular guy in the
I
town.
was about to say, does
was
that
really,
make
was really into her.
who's Gaston now?
So I think that's LeBron
Danny
James.
Ainge?
That's LeBron James. And so Kyrie's like, you know what? I'm gonna be all this faux intellectual thinking about stuff. You
Yeah.
know, I got to find something different. I'm gonna go, maybe check out what the Beast is all about.
Dwayne Wade can be Cinderella because he lost a shoe one time and threw it at
Oh, it's good.
Not bad.
Mike Bibby.
I want to say
it's my Bibby shoe. My Bibby-
I
actually,
want to
my
say
Bibby is Snow White.
Kevin Durant is always looking for like what else is out there and isn't satisfied.
That's Ariel.
So he's Ariel, exactly.
That's Ariel.
John.
That's
Nice.
great. Yeah.
Thank you. Who are the other princess? Does Snow White count as a
I'm gonna
princess?
say-
Snow White.
I'm going to be a real piece of crap and say Mulan is Yao Ming.
Wow, that's good. Who's Pocahontas, John?
Yeah, I don't want to do
Steven
a
Adams?
I don't want to do. I don't want to do a Pocahontas.
he's-
Eduardo Nahara.
He's Moana.
Who are the new?
It's
Who
Steven
are the
Adams,
new?
right?
Is there an Elsa or an Anna?
I
Who are those
Or
people?
that's
That's Frozen,
John.
and I don't think that's Disney. That's
what's-
DreamWorks.
Oh, it's definitely
It's
Disney.
Disney.
DreamWorks.
Oh, it's DreamWorks?
It's Disney.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't know.
How do you guys not know these things?
I really don't want to know.
Don't. I'm mad that you're googling it, Chuck.
I'm Googling it right now.
Thank you, Chuck. I
Oh, it
believe
is-
Keith
It's
here.
Disney.
I mean, it's not.
I mean, I haven't seen Frozen, so I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
I'm going with the old school classics.
Sure.
It's Cinderella. It's Ariel.
Oh, who's Cinderella? Who's who turns into a
I said
the
that.
carriage turns into Pumpkin at midnight?
Ooh.
What's that? Is that LeBron James right now?
Charles Barkley.
It's terrible. Yeah.
Who is Cinderella? Did Chuck say Cinderella?
Cinderella, I said it was Mike Bibby because he lost his shoe and Dwayne Wade threw it.
Oh, okay.
Back
That's
in
not
the day.
bad.
It's
Oh, I gotcha.
it's a, callback.
That's a callback.
One thing that happened a long time ago.
I
That's
like
fine.
it.
We
All
built
right.
a whole podcast on that.
So those were some listener submitted questions, the Croissant questionnaire. If you want to submit your own question, well, you have to become a Patreon supporter. You do that at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast.
And we just had a special guest on the Patreon only YouTube feed. It's the one and only Blazer Boy,
He's back.
who showed up and went through all the stages of grief after losing to the Grizzlies.
It is
come-
embarrassing.
Check
At
out
least
Blazer
the
Boy.
Grizzlies.
Blazer Boy, if you haven't heard of him, he's the man. He's the world's greatest fan, world's greatest gambler. You should check him out.
Definitely the world's greatest gambler.
Greatest gambler.
Should not have made that Nuggets bet with Nuggets Matt.
Nuggets hat. Well, he has to wear a Nuggets hat now because of Nuggets Matt.
Yeah, not great.
He had to
Never
wear it.
seems to have Blazers gear on.
Never, because he's always losing bets. All he has is friends who are have favorite teams that aren't his.
So if you want to check that out, get more stuff, submit your Croissant questions. Do that at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. All right, steak and eggs, best thing. What's the best thing you saw in the last week?
Man, you know it would be really cool if I had Adam Silver for a boss.
Yeah?
Yeah, because he's been openly talking about the players and how he's worried about them and how that most of them aren't really that happy, you know. And an overwhelming number
Say
of
what?
them, that these millionaires aren't happy at all. The ones who reached the top stage, the ones that did everything no one else could, they get there and they're unhappy. And I think it's a great thing that Adam Silver is being a real cool boss, opening up the discussion and letting these players know that it's okay to talk about mental health.
I also wish I was in the NBA.
Same.
Right. But if
Not
you
that
weren't...
that he's their boss.
Right. And that was the point he made. He was like, everybody thinks of these players as super lucky, and how could you be that player in that world and not be satisfied? And it's simple. It's, you're on the hedonic treadmill. Everything you get makes you have to run faster to reach that sort of speed.
I wish old Slugworth was around when Vin Baker was shooting shots.
When he was chugging Jack. Yeah, and that is a thing that when you look back on historically, some players, what would they would have been if there was a significant mental health program in place in the NBA? What would have Dennis Rodman not kicked that cameraman that
and
time?
The Goobers.
Would there have been would the Malice of the Palace not have happened? All these are things if we would have taken mental health seriously at the beginning, because Ron Artest was a crazy person,
Yeah.
still is. And nobody in the league is stopping to say, all right, what is he doing to get help? What are we doing to make sure that this obviously wild card loose cannon is, I'm talking to myself here.
I know.
This is me.
It's good.
Mass projection.
We like it. My best thing, I think I'm going to go with the bizarre stat line put up by Derek White of the San Antonio Spurs.
Shout out D. White.
He gets weird blocks.
This stuff
and
is just fancy. He had 6 blocks in a game as a point guard.
Wow.
That is berserk.
That's like the stuff of Kendall Gill, who was more of a shooting guard. I was looking up guards on Basketball
I was
Reference.
about to say, how many guards have done this?
I think it was 3.
Dwayne Wade?
3. Oh no, guards was bigger, but we can probably look that up right now. But there was only a couple guys who were listed as just like a point guard to ever do it. But he had
He had like 6 blocks.
he had 18 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds, and 6 blocks I tweeted this out. I don't know if you guys saw it. I'm hoping not.
The answer is no.
We can play a little game. What's that song?
Oh,
Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage. All right. Game of scones.
Oh, God. I'm just filled with dread now.
Who are the
song.
other NBA players to have 18 points, 9 assists, and 6 blocks in a game?
Okay, don't say guards, John.
18 points, 9 assists, 6 blocks in a game. Hint, Derek White is the only guard to do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I guess there's technically one. Hint, there's one you could maybe consider a guard.
Okay.
But Derek White is by far the shortest person.
I got to go first because Chuck always says my
So
answer.
there are
it
9
one time.
players who have done it.
Oh, God.
Derek White was the 10th. This is a good going to basketball reference. I'm sure someone back in the 50s or 40s did that. No one cares. Chuck, John, you said you wanted to go first?
Please.
So John's been on a losing
I
streak.
know he's going to say.
Why don't you go first?
David Robinson?
David Robinson is correct. He has done it 4 times.
Nikola Jokic.
No.
No way.
Really?
No blocks like
Jokic
that.
has never done that.
He doesn't jump. He can't jump.
You're right.
Yeah, I don't think Jokic has ever had 6 blocks in a game.
Okay, the question is, do I try to get cute? Because I think I know a cute one. Or do I try to box Chuck out and take some of the big names?
I would do that.
But I feel like if I get cute, then I feel so smart.
Spit it out.
I think Josh Smith has done this.
Josh Smith has done it.
That's amazing.
Yes! Yes!
Well played.
But now
John.
Chuck's going to get one. I have another cute one. A short guy.
Michael Jordan.
No. That's 2 strikes for Chuck, who finds himself in a giant hole.
So Kareem has definitely done this.
Kareem is correct. He's done it 7 times.
Wow.
By far the most. Josh Smith obviously did it 1 time.
Yes, but I remember it. It's
So that's
like 2007, 2008.
Chuck, can you stay alive or will you lose horribly?
Don't guess any more
18
cards.
points, 9 assists, 6 blocks.
I feel like Chuck's doing this on purpose to make me feel better.
Sean Kemp.
No. Oh, that's an ugly, ugly strikeout loss for Chuck. John, you want to keep going?
Can I do my cute one?
And win with style.
I remember Charles Barkley having at least 6 blocks in a game.
Charles Barkley is the next shortest person to
Okay,
have done
yeah.
all right.
6'3".
There-
Shaq?
Barkley height.
Not
truther.
Shaq, no.
Tracy McGrady.
Hakeem.
Tracy McGrady, yes,
Hakeem.
Chuck.
Well done.
Yeah.
Tracy McGrady being the only one you could maybe consider a guard. Yes, Hakeem Olajuwon is correct. The
So
only
who's left? Let's see. It's not been no one recent. I would say
there are 2. Okay, go ahead.
So has there been anyone recent?
Yes, there are 2 guys
Giannis.
who are not yet in the Hall of Fame, but they will be.
Is Giannis?
No.
No.
We have 1 current player has done it.
One current player, Dirk Nowitzki.
He's the worst player on the Warriors.
Oh,
Boogie.
Yeah.
that's right.
DeMarcus Cousins has done it. Also, Tim Duncan has done it.
Yeah, I was
Oh.
going to say.
And then the only one you missed, one of the older Hall of Famers, Nate Thurmond, did it. So
That's like
so
1970.
Again, this
Did they do the blocks? with
There's no
Nate
way
Thursday?
Wilt didn't do it, but they didn't.
Yeah,
keep-
right.
Yeah, right,
So
right.
this guy,
That must've been the
Derek
first-
White, a point guard, did this thing that only 8 Hall of Famers and Jay Smoove have done.
Dude, Derek White is a joy.
That's crazy. He's
Yeah,
very.
what are you going to do
It's very
when
fun to watch.
what's his name comes back?
Jonte?
DeJounte?
Yeah, Dejounte Murray.
Have like an insanely hard to score on backcourt and be
Yeah.
really good for a while.
Yeah, they're going to be.
Who's that other guard?
Bryn Forbes.
Bryn Forbes. Yeah, he's going to play less.
All right.
The
He hasn't
the
been bad
rich,
either.
The rich man's Petty Mills,
Right.
Or poor man's,
Poor
depending on
man.
your-
The poor man's Patty Mills.
I don't know. Bryn Forbes
Bryn
doesn't
Forbes.
miss.
So that was my best thing.
The only person who misses less than Bryn Forbes is Montrezl Harrell. He never, ever, ever misses. Speaking of Montrezl Harrell, let's stay in that vein. Clippers are still good.
Oh yeah.
Clippers are still good. Clippers had the greatest, to my mind, the greatest during the season return for a rental I've ever seen in my life. And they're set up, and they're going to be good, and they're a destination, and probably a playoff team that, let me say this, Nuggets don't want any part of the Clippers in the playoffs.
I don't believe that line of
Really?
thought. But
Nah.
I think the Nuggets.
Do you know who struggles against the former Laker Ivica Zubac? Nikola Jokic struggles against him.
I'm not worried about that. I do believe the Nuggets don't want to play the Spurs. The Nuggets have had trouble with the Spurs this season.
It's going to be a lot of fun playing which team do the Nuggets not want to see, because you can talk yourself into almost any of them.
Although, I mean, I could almost apologize to Gary Harris, who had a very nice
Garris?
last game.
Went off about 10 straight points.
Garris had a very, very good last game. Let's move to the worst of week. The opposite of steak and eggs is the cream of wheat. What's your cream of wheat worst thing? I got a couple. I'll start.
You should.
One, Luke Kennard is murdering me in a fantasy league, John. Luke Kennard, the Pistons are on fire.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? Come on, they just blew out the T-Wolves.
You can apologize to Dwayne Casey once again next week. The Pistons have the best record in the NBA after the All-Star break.
Yeah.
They're on fire. Well, Luke Kennard last 3 games has scored 22 points per game, has hit 60% of his shots, including made 14 3-pointers.
Luke Kennard,
at a 60%
He's
clip.
Luke Kennard.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to lose in my most important fantasy league. I still have the listener league. That does not give me the same joy or financial payout.
Yeah, sorry to the listeners in the league that I am the commissioner of. It just got out of hand. And I just out of hand there.
Did you delete the league?
No, there were people, arguing about it in the Slack, and made me. I'm sorry I let you guys down. I should have been a better commissioner.
You sit in the enforcer.
Yeah, I take care of things.
I don't even want to know what happens. But yeah, Luke Kennard,
Fantasy league things,
that
bro.
little snot-nosed Duke boy on fire. At least our Patreon supporter, Monte World Peace, can enjoy his Pistons winning some basketball games.
There's a lot to love about being a Detroit person right now.
Yeah?
I mean, you can have a lot of fun in downtown Detroit right now.
Get some of that square pizza.
That's right. Oh, man. Did you notice Jets has started claiming that as the brand?
Yeah, square. I mean,
Detroit's cool.
It's Chicago. I mean, it's Detroit style pizza. I love that stuff.
But Jets
is
is from Detroit.
Yeah.
But it used to be part of the branding, but now it's like front and center.
Oh,
So do you know
Detroit
the
style.
owner of Jets? His last name is Jet, but it's not spelled the same way. He's got 2 T's.
Yeah, he's got double T.
Oh.
But he made it Jets with 1 T, and I think that's such a subtly brilliant thing.
No, it's smart.
It's just
Break
brilliant.
it down for me. I'm too stupid.
No, you don't put your name. You don't put your name on things like that in a store.
Okay.
For food. So you change.
Did he
it.
do it on purpurse, do you think?
It probably had somebody.
He was like filling out
at market analysis.
He was filling out a bank loan,
right.
and they just wrote down Jets Pizza. Like, oh, that's a good name.
Yeah.
You know?
Perfect.
Then they couldn't pay it off. You guys got anything that you're mad about in your worst of weeks?
Man, so last week I went in on LeBron, and this week he passed Jordan for the all-time number 4 in the all-time scoring list. And what I hate to see happen now is the Jordan LeBron comparisons with the distance of the halo that goes around Michael Jordan now, knowing that he was a flawed player. He wasn't the perfect NBA superstar, and he had his flaws. I was just talking to some strangers the other day about Michael Jordan's 2 years off in the NBA and the reasons why I think those exist. I'm a Jordan truther. I think he owed money to the mob, or his dad did.
Damn right.
But if that happened in today's NBA, LeBron has done none of that kind of stuff. He's never punched a teammate. And we're forgetting, just because LeBron's playing in a much more competitive, much more densely talented league than Jordan played in the post-expansion era. You're comparing apples to oranges, I think.
I'm irritated this week that the Bucks are so good that a lot of the awards races that should be close will not be close. Like, Buds is like slam dunking coach of the year.
It should.
A lot of coaches would be a dramatic upgrade over Jason Kidd and company.
Yeah.
A lot. So I think we're missing, because this is an incredible coach of the year race. Like, what Nate McMillan's doing is ridiculous.
They're about to fall apart. I'm smelling it. I'm smelling it.
I think they have been the luckiest team in the NBA. And you couldn't pick a better time to fall apart, and you couldn't blame McMillan because he's down a Depot and now he's down a Sabonis.
Right.
So I can get falling apart, but it's incredible what they're doing. Really, it's hard to give credit to Nick Nurse when you bring a Kawhi Leonard in, but they
Right.
look really good.
They've been great.
There's just a lot of really good candidates. I honestly think I can't believe like the vibe around the Hawks, and I think
Yeah.
like Lloyd Pierce should get a lot of credit for that. I'm getting texts from people who I haven't heard from in years who are really excited about the Hawks. Some of them not even old Hawks fans. Just like, so is this Hawks team as fun as it seems?
Oh,
And
they're super fun. How about that
Absolutely.
game? We didn't even talk about it.
Oh God,
The 168 to 161
quad OT.
4 overtime madness. Vince Carter playing the most minutes ever,
Yeah.
or tying Robert Parrish for the most minutes ever by a player over I think it was 42.
Between Vince Carter pulling that off and a Boston Red Sox knuckleball pitcher being busted for steroids, I'm convinced everybody juicing.
Right. Lloyd Pierce seems like the coolest NBA head coach, though.
He
He'd be
does
like
seem-
the
he does
guy
seem
that
very cool.
you could sip a bourbon with him and he'd tell you a good story and he'd make you feel comfortable. But I love the jersey swap they gave. Wade
Herder.
went with Herder.
Oh,
Apparently Herder wears
jersey
3
swap
because
with
he's a huge
with
Wade
Dwayne
fan.
Wade. Yeah,
They're
Wade.
running out of jerseys. Because they're doing 2 for every team. It seems like.
Well, I'm starting to see other guys swap jerseys.
Yeah, don't bite.
Can't wait till he
saw
swaps jerseys with Avery Bradley.
Jason-
Does he have a storage unit where he's putting all these things? How much wall?
Just jerseys and Valtrex?
Because each jersey's got to be the size of that poster. You hang it up.
I think they
kind of-
hang one in every room of every Carnival cruise ship. There's a actually, what if it was in every state's room?
That would be it.
Every Carnival
The presidential
cruise ship
suite.
has a Dwayne Wade jersey.
Yeah, but I'm just interested. What literally the logistical aspects behind these jerseys? Where are they going?
eBay,
100%.
just eBay.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you have this thing that's worth What's it? What's like a game worn Dwayne Wade jersey?
Yeah, it's
That's
probably,
a lot.
Probably
And now it's like, oh, a final
200-300.
a final retirement
hashtag
year.
one last dance. Such
Kevin
bad.
Herter edition.
Oh my God, the worst. I just imagine Gabrielle Union in a house with a garage full of jerseys and she doesn't know what to do with them. She's just upset. Wade, you better get these out of here. You better find a place.
That Hawks Chuckers, all eye shop lineup of Spellman, Trae Young, Huerter, Prince, and Dedmon.
Oh, it's awesome.
How do you even like? Can anyone come down in the basement when they're playing, or is it like lights
It's
off,
fun,
Kleenex
man.
Andy?
I do love Dedmon's been missing a few games. Dwayne Dedmon's so good. I kind of thought he was maybe going to end up somewhere good, but he is flaming out on this. They're fun, but ultimately forgettable. Hawks team. Did everyone do a worst, John?
I did it worse.
Yeah, I got a. We haven't done a scattered smother covered in a bit, and I think Chuck has to leave real quick. One thing I noticed. My second worst of the week. I was going to say, Chuck's Miami Heat are winning, but I think it's because my boy James Johnson isn't playing.
There's a couple things. Dragic's not playing.
Dragic
also helps.
Dragic isn't
He
playing.
can't defend a pick and roll.
Chuck and I
Adebayo's
discussed this
playing.
over dinner, and like some of the guys that you think are important to the Heat are not important to the Heat.
Well, James Johnson, if he's healthy, he's such an important piece for him because he gives them versatility, and they can run sets through him. But with Dragic gone, you can play Whiteside and other people more because Whiteside can't defend a pick and roll either. But if you have a good defender with him in a pick and roll action, he's not as a liability.
What?
But Dragic, they just get eaten
I think
up.
Whiteside off the bench is actually kind of good.
Oh, it's great.
And then I think if you just have Josh Deese, Richard Slow out there at all
Right.
times, as opposed to the other guard combos, it's a big win for
Well,
them.
then-
Magruder's okay.
But then again, Johnson not playing and Olynyk getting all the minutes.
Sporty
This was
spice.
a huge week for big white tall stiffs. As
Go get your money, man.
as Kelly Olynyk as again helped the Heat win 4 of 5, and also
Kelly Olynyk is an interesting Swiss Army knife type player.
risen from the dead.
Yeah, I know.
Frank,
I
Frank the foreman,
I know.
Kaminsky.
Oh, he went off on Miami last night.
He had played 18 minutes the entire season. Up until 3 games ago, in the last 3 games, he's averaging 18 points per game.
I think he did 18 last night.
No,
I guess
sorry. He'd scored I got that completely wrong. He'd scored just 18 points in all of 2019. He played more, but he only scored 18 points in 2019. And then his last 3 games, he scored 53 points. And again, the Hornets winning some games. So.
It's a statement game. MJ is saying this is why we didn't trade him.
Well, the
this
Heat,
is why we didn't do this.
Heat
the
Hornets
trade.
last night dictated who's the 8th seed, and Miami won, and that gives me hope that they're probably going to put something together for the final couple weeks and make the playoffs.
All right, so let's move to the awards ceremony of the program.
I got to break out with this, though, guys.
Chuck's got to run off.
Yeah.
John and I will carry this home. The International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award, given each week to the worst performance in a box score. We have several honorable mentions this week. Chris Paul, Rajon Rondo, Jalen Brunson, 1 for 10. Jalen Brunson selected 1 pick after Javon Carter.
Oh.
I'm not bitter about that or anything. I mean, Jalen Brunson looks clearly way better than Javon Carter, but
he
was a higher prospect.
Was also a better player in college. Makes
Right,
sense.
he was like a higher on people's draft boards,
Right.
because it looks like he's much better.
Right.
Anyway, Dirk Nowitzki, honorable mention, 2 for 13. CJ McCollum, also 2 for 13. Nick Mirotic, 3 for 14. Kyle Lowry, 4 for 16. Kemba Walker, 5 for 21. All just honorable mentions. 3 nominees as they occurred chronologically through the week. Terrence Ross, maybe like a 10th place winner in most improved player this year. Terrence Ross, in a loss to the Cavaliers. Why are you losing to the Cavs? 1 for 12. 2 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 personal fouls.
Gruesome.
Chris Middleton, in a loss
You boy.
to the Suns. Future Grizzly Chris Middleton. 1 for 13. 6 points, 7 boards, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover, 3 personal fouls. And then another most improved candidate, Bogdan Bogdanovic.
Boy, he's tapered off, though.
Well, this game he did. A loss to the Clippers, 3 for 15, 9 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover, 1 personal foul. So I think this comes down to Chris Middleton or Terrence Ross. You have Terrence Ross, 1 for 12, 2 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 personal fouls. And then Middleton, 1 for 13, but 6 points, 7 boards, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover, 3 personal fouls.
This is really hard.
I think Middleton getting more points, more rebounds, more assists makes his 1 for 13 less bad than 1 for 12. So I vote for Terrence Ross.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Chuck has returned. I assume he forgot his sunglasses and/or wallet and/or phone because I know him.
Or the mysterious notepads.
Oh yeah, I never cracked open.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Chuck is just.
Did you lock him in the car?
with no keys?
Locked him in the car with the dog.
Par fadeaway.
This is the greatest extended exit in a while.
Right. This is the
We really do comprise all 3 Stooges.
right.
Yeah.
The Chuck is still walking around the basement. Has just stepped into the bathroom.
He's Curly, Shemp,
for
Larry, and Mo.
the comedic. I think I heard the shower starting. What is happening? Par fadeaway, John. What things are you looking forward to? I do have to announcement. I forgot to throw in the front of the show.
Got partied up.
Got a watch party tomorrow, Friday. If you're anywhere near Nashville, Tennessee, we might even have a Blazer fan from Portland show up.
That's what I'm talking about.
Tara decides to show up. Honestly,
Blazer boy.
It might be sad, Tara, but you're welcome to come. It'd be good to see you. But we're having a watch party at the Mainstay in East Nashville at 7 o'clock for Grizzlies Jazz, giving away the last remaining Grizzlies prizes from the prize cabinets. Your first drink is free, courtesy of this podcast. You can't
right.
beat that. So we'll be watching basketball, hanging out at the Mainstay at 7 p.m.
Saturday, the marquee rivalry in all of sports. Lakers Celtics.
Oh, Lakers Celtics, the Schadenfreude special.
Super Bowl.
Are the Lakers? How many more games are they going to win? 4, 5,
6.
You put it at 5.5, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's where the over/under would be set.
I'm going under. I don't think they're going to.
Let's
win
look at that schedule.
A couple. Well, I mean, they got like 20 games left. They're not going to win. They're done. I mean, they're shutting it down.
Let's look at that schedule.
One by one. I think the Grizzlies can catch them.
Oh man,
it's not good.
It's pretty gruesome. And these are teams that need wins.
I mean, they've been losing to the teams they were supposed to beat.
I mean, this is a gruesome schedule.
Yeah, I think the Lakers are done. The Lakers, who, I mean, I haven't even had the heart to tweet it. Like their team pre-trade deadline last year is better than this team right now. This team with Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance,
honestly, Keith,
David Nwaba, Julius Randle, Brooke Lopez.
I hate to stroke you off on the air, but you said that when they were making the moves.
Everyone did. Everyone pointed out these moves are horrible.
You were very vehement.
I still thought this team was going to win 45, 46 games, though. I believe LeBron could carry him to 45, 46. They're not going to get there.
It's a transition in era of NBA
I also
right
pointed out that the Nets have gone through an entire life cycle and rebuild and are over all since the last time the Lakers won a playoff game.
right.
The Nets traded away all their picks, have already conveyed all those picks, and are returning to the playoffs. And the Lakers still haven't won a playoff game since 2012.
Frighteningly hyperbolic, where is LeBron on the list of great NBA players right now? Best NBA players right now.
Also, you mean in the league currently playing?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about his legacy versus Jordan. That's very boring.
I
think it's more interesting to talk about, is he like top 3? Because I think
so. I
don't think so.
You put like Giannis and Durant.
I think
Harden.
his defense is and effort there is so bad that right now you can't put him there. When you got Kyle Kuzma shoving you off to assignments, when you're calling out the wrong assignments to your teammates on the reg.
I've had some of the more film school type folks point out
I'm in the room, you subtweeting monster.
No, pointing out that
film school.
No, the
film session.
Yeah. Well, no. I'm sorry.
Sorry, my narcissism took
every NBA team now has like I'm thinking of Lakers film room.
Sure, Crunchy or whatever.
No, that's Pete Zayas.
Okay, gotcha.
But like him pointing out, and other guys have echoed it, that it's not that weird on switches to have a guy push you to go the right way.
No, not at all.
And then they show,
but it was fun to make a thing out of it. Yeah.
That play was fun. I still think LeBron can control a game and a way that hardly anyone else can. So I still think he's probably up there with all the best players in the world. I think all this does is reflect negatively on this franchise, their front office, them hiring within the Lakers family, hiring a Lakers family guy, Rob Pelinka, hiring a Lakers family guy, Magic Johnson, not looking for the best candidates. Lakers family guy Luke Walton, who I don't think is all his fault. I think he's falling around.
Can we put it to the test a little bit?
Yeah,
because I wanted to talk about like top 3 or top 5. Let's say right now, would you take LeBron over Giannis?
If I needed to win a playoff series, would I prefer Giannis? Would I prefer the Bucks with Giannis or LeBron and all the other same players? I would choose LeBron.
Okay.
I think LeBron.
Also, we need to talk about going forward. I'm not saying.
Well, going forward, it's obvious it's Giannis because he's so much.
Sure.
younger.
Well, let's just keep going though.
Okay.
James Harden.
James Harden. I would rather have. I don't think LeBron on that Rockets team. That's an interesting one to me. I think in that specific situation,
that's 2 players.
But I think. But again, going forward, I'm saying I would take LeBron over Giannis if you gave LeBron the Bucks supporting cast. I think that team could beat the Warriors, perhaps. Would I rather have LeBron James as Kevin Durant's role on the Warriors?
You're talking about the Bucks supporting cast like it's something amazing. This is a team that until this year didn't do much.
Right. But have you seen LeBron's supporting casts?
Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, I think the Raptors are better with LeBron James. So
KD and Steph Curry. So you've got LeBron ensconced in the top 5.
Yeah, I think so. Well, so
I don't have him there anymore.
The interesting mental exercise that you've brought up for me right now, I'm really enjoying thinking: would the Lakers currently be better with Kevin Durant? Maybe. Would the Warriors be better with LeBron James? I think maybe. So it's not equal. I feel like LeBron James in these other situations will be great. I'm just blown away how you can have LeBron James and build a team around him that does not make the playoffs. That is crazy to me.
Well, with LeBron James comes a certain style that you have to play.
Okay.
That I feel certain you have to have certain types of players.
Yeah.
And like they just do not have them at all. And I think that's
chose not to.
Yeah, that's some baggage. That's some baggage that he carries.
They made a conscious decision not to bring in the type of players that win around LeBron James.
I mean, this is a year where LeBron, like, this is the first time I can remember looking at stuff like value over replacement player, and LeBron James is like barely in the top 10, hanging around with Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, it's not great. Would the Thunder be better with him or Paul George? That's a tough one. I don't know.
Paul George has
been great.
They function. He is a functionary defensive player within that system.
Yeah, he's great.
They have, if you suddenly take away the best defensive player on maybe the best defensive team, the Thunder aren't what they are. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like I'm not trying to be like, oh, LeBron's not great or LeBron's, not the GOAT or whatever. But I think we are watching a transition out of the era of his dominance.
The Lakers missing the playoffs.
He's an afterthought right now. His team is an afterthought.
The Lakers missing the playoffs for whatever reason has, I think, knocked him off is he the best player in the NBA pedestal? Everyone's like, no. He's not.
I mean, he's not an MVP candidate.
It's also, I assume, a nightmare for the league and TV ratings.
Sure.
I mean, the Knicks.
I can afford I was just looking at the Lakers schedule. The prices next to them, the sub prices were as low as I could have imagined.
I was looking at attendance. The Lakers' attendance is only 97% capacity for their home games. They're like 10th. They're like 10th in attendance.
Okay, wow.
As far as percentage wise,
That is wild.
Also saw in the same similar thing that the Grizzlies bring in less than $1 million per NBA game, which is the worst in the NBA.
What are the Warriors bringing? 8 million, 3 million?
Oh, we're getting a little off on our parfadeaway. Another thing, this is supporting the theory that I brought up. I don't remember whose it was, that the Grizzlies are tanking their market. They're tanking, trying to move.
I'm deep in this. I deeply believe this.
The Grizzlies were like, "Hey, we fixed the TV listings in Nashville. Right. Can you check it out?" I'm like, "Yeah, I checked it out. They're not fixed. They're going to go an entire season in their television region of not having the Grizzlies listed in the television listings."
I refuse to be complicit in support of this team.
I'm going to be complicit.
It's like being an NRA member at this point. you might be shooting guns the right way and do it exactly the most wholesome, Walton family way ever, but you're in the NRA, man. You're a monster. Keith, you are a monster.
It's a mess. How can they have a TV deal and they go an entire season?
I'm with Blazer
where they don't fix the TV listings in one of their secondary markets to try to get ratings. It's a mess.
Keith?
We're wearing
Hawk socks.
I realize
Heat shoes. This Grizzlies hoodie is not emblematic of who I am anymore.
Man, that watch party where I was sick, where they lost to the Nuggets, they blew a 20-point lead. I realized I at home I was wearing Nugget socks.
Hey,
sorry there.
I got you beat. 30-point lead blown. The most diehard Grizzlies fan, Joseph, screaming, "I want to die. I want to die."
Wasn't the best moment in our watch party history. It was not a great moment. Was not awesome. No, hey, my real parfadeaway, John. Chuck's boy, Mose / Tyler Johnson on the Phoenix Suns.
Dude.
The Suns have won 4
fantasy
or 5.
Stud. See, Keith, I'm depressed that you're losing your fantasy leagues because it feels like you're not doing the pickups.
No, I was doing. That's what happened. The league I'm going to lose in the semis in. My pickups for the week, I had grabbed Fareed right before he got hurt, just for early. Like I had it planned out. I was like early week Fareed, field goal percentage, rebounds. Then I'm gonna get Bullock. He has a stretch of 4 games in 6 nights, and Bullock fell out of the Walton rotation.
Yeah.
And my opponent swept up the Wes Matthews 2 game, Luke Kennard, and then
Luke Kennard, mate.
Well, who was the other one?
He's a beast.
He crushed me in the categories of the streaming categories, and I'm like, well, that was that.
That fantasy league that you conned me into being in, the big money league. You murdered those boys. They can't touch me. They can't touch me. It's taken over my life. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. But I honestly, the losing will be good because then I won't spend so much. I spend way too much mental power on just is this good for?
I'm a toilet man.
For one game?
I'm a toilet fantasizer in many respects.
I know. But anyway, Tyler Johnson and the Phoenix Suns have won 4 of 5. Honestly, is the tanking rules changing stuff. The Bulls are winning. The Cavs are winning. The Suns are winning. I want to feel like the tanking rules have somewhat affected things. It seems like
I think we need to wait and
games.
see the roster maneuvers and machinations during the stretch before we raise a glass.
I'm about ready to raise a glass. The only ones still losing are the Knicks because they're so horrible.
So I almost brought up the Knicks, but I think we'll wait one more week because at this point I think they are, and I need to do some digging, but they seem as bad as those Sixers teams of yore.
Yeah, they're crazy. Anyway, that's the show. Thanks you guys for supporting us. Nashville people, come to the watch party. If you want to support our program, patreon.com/
You'll be supporting us, not necessarily the Grizzlies, so that's fine.
Oh, yeah, the watch party. Yeah, whatever. We'll give you prizes for players who aren't on the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
It'll be a Raptors,
tradition.
Raptors, and a retired Tony Allen, and what sure else we have to unload.
Bring that yoga mat.
But that'll
Sell
be
that
fun.
yoga mat.
Yeah.
Live, auction.
The Chandler Parsons yoga mat. We're giving it away tomorrow. It'll be fun. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Fast Break Break. All right, you guys are the best. Thanks for listening, and remember, breakfast is the most important thing.
Yeah, never apologize for being G&G. Fast break, man. You understand?